talk about a brand creating shift for entrepreneurs to scale impacts and profits without spending all their time in their business. In the Impact Brand Doctor podcast with Rich Kozak, check out these rich strategy nuggets you can use right now. This is the Brand Doctor podcast with Rich Kozak. Here we positively uplift possibilities for brands in straight talk you can trust. Do you need more clarity to move your brand forward with impact? Are you at a locked gate to the next level of your brand? You bring your vision and your challenges right here to the Brand Doctor podcast. Today, we are lifting up the brand journey of Kim Walsh Phillips, a woman I would love to call my friend. She is the founder of Powerful Professionals. That brand is a business coaching and educating company in the top 500 of Inc. 5000. Kim's brand is responsible for over $1 billion of generated online income. She stands for guiding business owners towards impact and income. Kim Walsh Phillips is the best-selling author, renowned actually for the No BS Guide to Direct Response Social Media Marketing. She's renowned for two reasons. One, delivering profitable social media marketing. And two, she made Dan Kennedy young again. Okay. And for the ultimate guide to Instagram for business. And you can get really excited about Kim's newest book. It's just about to be out. It's The Shift. Kim is the secret weapon of some of the biggest names in business. She speaks on stages alongside colleagues who are also thought leaders and life changers. Look, the list is so long, we'd have to record a separate podcast. Kim Walsh Phillips, I know that many of our listeners, businesses and lives, will benefit by what they hear today on this show. Delivering impact and profit is what you've done for your own business and many others. And exactly, if you're listening to this today, she'll do it for you. Give this your full attention so that you hear every minute of this. Kim, it is a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the Impact Brand Doctor podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
What a delight. So each listener knows you because maybe some don't. Mm-hmm. Tell us about going from 32 clients to 11,000 in less than a year and the challenges and lessons that you chose to coach and teach all of us.
It was one night that I was putting my daughters to bed, and my company was a marketing agency and had finally started to flourish. I had some celebrity clients like Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank and Dan Kennedy, which is one of the godfathers of direct response marketing. And I was working with Hilton Hotels who were finally having these really big accounts, and money is good. And it had been bad for so long, but it's finally good. And I'm putting my daughters to bed one night, and I just kind of call out to God rhetorically and say, I wish you could freeze time for a minute. And I don't want to miss my girls growing up. And I wasn't expecting an answer back, but I heard it. I heard a little whisper that said, I don't need to freeze time, Kim. You need to be more present. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so true. Like, that is so true. I needed to find a way to scale my business that wasn't going to require my time. And so I started looking at the systems and processes we had in place and how we were getting leads and how I made sales. And what I found was I could automate and systematize a few things that would take me out of the business, like my leads. I could stop going to networking events and I could start getting leads from social media. And my sales process, I could get off sales calls and do a webinar instead. And when I put this process in place, it started to work so well that I had 3 offers for my first company. And so when I sold it, I knew that I needed to show people what I did. So that's what we do in our coaching business. We show people how to scale their business without working additional hours. And that's what the book's all about, The Shift. It's how to grow your business, multiply your wealth without sacrificing you.
Oh, wow. Kim, thank you. That was amazing. And obviously, this is really clear to you because you did not say one time in there. So yeah. So what prompted you right now to write the book, The Shift? And does this represent a shift for your brand or the next stake in the ground that moves you along your brand journey?
It was a shift in the way I did business, that we went from working all the time and only being paid by the hour to giving value in ways that's scalable, like through course and group coaching. And it's a shift in my market. I was working with really all entrepreneurs, and we decided to only work with successful entrepreneurs who've not been able to scale successfully. And that change in messaging means my market got smaller, but the people I work with are much more likely to take action with the things that I teach them.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, your coaching business, and I see it from the inside, and probably will see it more in the next year. You work with so many business people
Yeah.
who want to make impact, and many of them might very well be ready, but their brands are falling flat.
Yeah.
Why is that? You see it so closely.
Because a lot of people lead their brand with ego and not with impact. And they lead their brand with vanity and not with strategy. And a brand, to me, a brand is very important, but brand is a byproduct of your overall strategic goals. So I have my colors are red, black, and white because I know that performs best in marketing. We are old school direct response marketers, so we know that coloring works the best. And I use big bold letters because it more likely gets clicked on. I make sure my brand includes fonts that work well for men and women because I have both inside my community. So I have a brand that I love, but that's very strategic because it's really trying to accomplish a lot with the market that I attract and to get them to respond with it.
There are a lot of things I love about you. And if you're listening to this, if you watched Kim and all that she does and the way she does what she does,
Yeah.
you would fall in love with a lot of things as well. You have a phenomenal heart, but on the business side, you do what works. When I read the book you wrote with Dan Kennedy, I fell in love with you. I didn't even know you. I hadn't really heard of you much, but this was years ago. But the amazing aha. I mean, Dan kind of put it. I love to quote Dan, and I don't do a very good Dan Kennedy curmudgeon voice, but here goes. So he says, like, I hate social media. It's a scourge on the universe, or something like that. He says, but everybody's there, so you have to do it. If you have to do it for dollars, not for likes. Okay, that was like a turning point, and I think it can be a turning point for a lot of people. Comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should do anything in business unless it's about the return on investment of our time, our energy, and our talents. Because if we really truly want to make an impact, then we're going to do it in a way that's going to generate the greatest one. And I want every minute of my day that I'm not with my family to be producing results. I'm never going to do things because they're going to be busy. They're going to always be done, only be done if they're going to make it productive. And that's my goal, is to get the most productivity, the most impact, the highest number of results every minute of my day, ounce of my talent, energy, and minute that I spend and dollar that I put towards it. It needs to give me a return on investment.
You're remarkable. Thank you. That was bottle that up and put it on yourself, because that was pure Kim Walsh Phillips. I love that. So Kim, I think you know a little bit about me and why I'm doing the Impact Brand Doctor podcast. I gave up what I considered addictive. I was addicted. I admit I'm a recovering ad agency workaholic. How's that? And I've chosen to work only with individuals who want to make an impact on others. They see the impact first. They're not really money driven. They're impact driven.
Yeah.
But God didn't put us here to be poor and to not be able to give our gifts. We got gifts. We need to give them in the biggest, most significant way we can. And so my world is often in the heart and of the brand and in the languaging of the umbrella brand of the individual, because everyone's unique, and making that come alive in a way that plants intangible brand promises and makes people magnetic, and what they do magnetic in a way that's not trite or trick, because that's kind of the world of branding people see. But when you impact people's lives, you want that brand to come from inside you. So we're working, boy, oh boy, and I graduate people every 3 months, and I would love to hand them to you, because then you got to execute on the brand. And when it comes to execution, all of those things you've mentioned, from fonts to the implications of color palette to the energy that words transfer, all of those things and the patterns in which you deliver them make a huge difference. So thank you for lifting that up. What can people expect to get when they read your new book, The Shift?
This is a storybook, a playbook, and a workbook all in one. Because I definitely tell you some fun stories behind the scenes. I want you to have a good time reading this book because I believe we should have a lot of fun while we work. But I also give you step-by-step strategies to follow to help you get results quicker. And then I give you exercises that breaks them all down so you can get to the finish line. So I included all of our winning webinar slides in there and the script on each one. I gave you my template for coming up with a social post copy. You have over 100 marketing strategies you can use as part of your business. So it really is the ultimate guide to growing your business and getting a huge result. And you get that all included. And then also when you get the book at the shiftbookbonus.com, you also get over $3,000 worth of bonuses. So there's huge opportunities to get so much ROI from this book.
Other than that, yeah, okay, that was great. Thank you. You are a professional at packing, at articulating value.
Thank you.
I think that's the best way to say it. Everything you're doing helps people get value. You mentioned ROI. Why do we do what we do? Even if we're following our gifts, if we don't get ROI, we're really misusing them.
Yeah, exactly.
And so thank you and God bless you for your heart, for your faith, the way it leads you in what you do. And I'm going to say for your stories on a daily basis. I truly love, and people, if you haven't read Kim's dailies, you just got to get in there and find out how to read them because they are little nuggets from the back of the taxi one, the Italy one this morning. I mean, I have favorites, but we won't go there. Okay. Anyway, that would take another podcast. And once your book comes out, and you and I have something in common. Your book is probably going to beat mine by a few weeks, but my book, Impact Driven Branding, 7 Steps to Ensure Your Brand Impacts People's Lives in the World, is about to come out too. So, wow, maybe I'll put them on the same shelf. That's a great idea. Okay. Super. Thank you. Is there anything else that you want to make sure that our listener hears about either the shift or about the way they approach their business that we haven't gone over today that you really want to mention that I haven't asked about?
Just because you see everybody else doing it doesn't mean that's the way that works. Over 90% of people are not growing a successful company, and they also are miserable at what they do. And so if you want a life that looks different, feels different, and performs different than others, you've got to do things differently. And so right now in this moment, I want to ask you a question. What do you want? Do you want growth? Do you want impact? Or do you want comfortability? Because they can't all happen at the same time. And you get to make that decision if you're interested to have the blueprint in order to quickly grow in a way that's so different than what others do. Then I'd love for you to read the book at theshiftbookbonus.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. What a wonderful capstone comment for today's interview. So in this episode of the Impact Brand Doctor, we have lifted up the brand journey and the beautiful heart and knowledge of Kim Walsh Phillips. Kim is the founder of the Power Professionals brand, a business coaching education company in the top 500 of the Inc. 5000, responsible for over $1 billion in income generated online. She stands for guiding business owners towards impact and income. Best-selling author and renowned for the No BS Guide to Direct Response Marketing and the Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business. And now we're all getting excited about Kim's newest book, The Shift. And in this episode today, you gained insight into how to scale your business and multiply and become wealthy without sacrificing you, and the insight into getting paid for value, not for time, and insight into leading your brand with impact, not ego, and with strategy and knowing how to execute. I think the last nugget that you gave us, the wisdom of just because everybody does it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We deal with that in the world of the way the world teaches branding all the time. People think it's what it is, but it's not. It's a process. It's the same. Oh my gosh. Thank you. And We got insight into the storybook, playbook, workbook. Is that what you said? Of the shift, the coming shift in your life. So, hey, you'll get contact info for our marvelous guest today in the show notes to take advantage of all her brand has to offer, and where these bonuses are. And even more information is available by emailing us directly at our email address, rich@richbrands.org. I want to remind you that the Impact Brand Doctor podcast is dedicated to bringing you strategies and actions to take your brand to its next level. So from our heart to yours, we encourage you subscribe to the Brand Doctor podcast and check out all of the episodes for the strategy nuggets and action items you can take right now. We'll speak with you again in our next episode. And remember, now is the time to define the brand you will become. Kim Walsh Phillips, thank you for your presence today, your wisdom, and your nuggets. You have made this day a blessed one for us. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This is Rich Kozak.